There is a huge AEW pay-per-view coming up this weekend. It's Full Gear from Newark, New Jersey. It's going to be fantastic. And the gentleman who's seated right beside me here is going to be part of what I'm calling the semi-main event. This is going to be fantastic. Chris Jericho defends against Bryan Danielson, Sammy Guevara, and Claudio Castagnoli. I'm so happy to speak to you. Have you ever been in this four-way type of match before? Because I know you've done a lot of things in the world of wrestling, but four different guys at the same time for a belt? Come on.
I have, but I can't tell you when. Probably there's somebody on the internet smarter than me on that aspect. But it's definitely, I want to say, the highest, most prestigious four-way match I've been in, and it's for the Ring of Honor World Championship. So I want to win it, which makes it extra difficult if you have three other guys to worry about instead of just one. But nothing good in life comes easy, right?
No, it certainly doesn't. So when I told the guys back at our shop that I was talking to you, the number one question they were asking outside of the soccer, and we'll get to that in a second, they asked me, how many European uppercuts do you think you deliver in a match? And I said the over-under would be about 20. Are you going to go over or under that number?
Over. at the pay-per-view, it's going to be an over. It's going to be an over. You need to stick to your guns or to your uppercut in that.
That's fit. I'm really looking forward to that. That should be a really good card top to bottom, and of course on pay-per-view. So check that out. When I talk to wrestlers, Claudio, I always ask them this one question because it's always a very interesting question. What gave you the wrestling bug? Is there somebody you saw, something you were at a live event, or what made you fall in love with the sport today?
I saw it on TV for the first time, and it was just, kind of wrestling for the first time in Switzerland on TV. And it was like, wrestling is coming too, whatever channel it was at the time. And all my friends wanted to watch it because it was the new cool thing from America, and I watched it and I just fell in love with it and, stayed in love ever since. So it's just the whole aspect of it, it's the show, the sport, everything.
Is there a particular person you were glued to?
Back when I first started, I always remember the Steiner brothers, Bret Hart, Owen Hart. Those were my guys.
Yeah. You know what, you're talking to a Canadian here, so especially
last I mean, the last two, should have gone on. The Mounties, the favorite tag team. So
yes, there you go. Oh man, hey, we could trade off for a while there. I love it. So you've been a heel and you've been a face. Which one do you prefer? And which one's easier to do? What comes more natural to you, Claudio?
I mean, in my mind, I was always a face. I'm always the good guy. So if you don't like what if that doesn't translate on television, I don't know what's going on in Canada. But to me, what is interesting to me in wrestling is the stories, right? And every good story needs a protagonist and an antagonist, and that kind of depends on different people's viewpoints. So I feel like that's where wrestling is progressing towards. So there is still a couple of just bad guys or just good guys, but I feel like for the most part, the most interesting characters are characters that you can relate to. That have ups and downs, that go through phases, and that's what I always try to portray, is somebody that like doesn't just go 180%, change directions 180 degrees from one foot to another. It's always, I try to make it more gradual and make it make sense in my mind.
Yeah, you're bang on. Things have changed throughout the days. Like back in the day, there was always that you knew exactly who was bad, who was good. Gimmicks were a little bit different. There were themes to people, and nowadays it's just big, strong, athletic guys that portray.
And I feel like that may have changed too with the times. I mean, back when I started watching, it was just the foreigner was just always the bad guy. That was just how it is. And as you've seen with Bret Hart was the bad guy in the US, but then when he went to Canada, he was the good guy. So I feel that kind of was the beginning of that, where you saw that people just gravitate towards their favorites and they are loyal to them.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Claudio, World Cup is coming up. We've been circling this on our calendar for some time. It's kind of weird that we're actually talking about it in November going into Christmas, December, which hey, I'm totally cool with it. I could take this every year, but if it only comes around every 4 years. And of course, you're heavily backing Switzerland for all the right reasons, and the home country and so forth. So what are your expectations for a Swiss team that FIFA ranks around number 16, give or take?
Yeah.
Pretty good squad, pretty tough group,
Yes.
but
Yes.
how do you rate them?
I think it's a pretty good group. Obviously, we just switched national trainers after the Euro, so that's probably it's going to be interesting to see how that will play out. But I think it's a really good group of players that we should make it out of the groups, and then hopefully quarterfinals would be amazing.
Yep.
I think like that miracle one, hopefully will go on with Switzerland this year.
Yeah, no, absolutely there. Now you follow soccer intently at all different levels. So everybody asks me, ask him about Canada, because Canada's there for the first time in a long time. I think the last time Canada was there, you probably weren't even born yet. So Canada right now, what are your thoughts on this young promising team that obviously in a couple of years they're going to be one of the host nations when the World Cup comes to North America, Mexico?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see. What I really hope is that Canada is playing really well and is going to hold their own. Like you said, it's a young team, and I feel like just because of that, it's kind of hard to predict how they will handle it. They can handle it really well, or like the pressure could get to them, which I don't think will be the case. So to me, there's many things that I'm skeptical about this World Cup, but we're not going to get into it.
Yeah.
So one of them is that obviously it's now more teams. And I just hope that, let's say, like the match quality doesn't suffer. As right. In, I don't want to see blowouts at the World Cup. So for that reason alone, I hope that Canada is going to hold their own, and I think they will.
Yeah, we all hope so as well. Dark horses, countries that will exceed expectation. Do you have a couple of them that you're looking at? And obviously we're not talking about the Argentinas and the Brazils and teams like that, but maybe some of the surprise countries that you would think, hey, you know what? Don't sleep on this team. Is there any that really come to mind when you think of that?
I'm trying to think. There's always one, right? And it's
always, it's like the Cinderella team, right?
Exactly. I mean, like it's always really hard to predict. I wanted to say Morocco for whatever reason.
Hey, that's in Canada's group. Stop it right there.
But I don't have a specific reason why. I was also, for example, Serbia is going to be pretty strong this year, which is in Switzerland's group. So I was like, oh god,
you don't want that either.
We wouldn't want
Claudio,
that
you're 0 for 2. Come on,
I know. So to me, that's part of the fun, though, right? Is to see who emerges as who has that miracle run. So I think we're going to see after the group stages, if we get up early enough to watch them, which I'll have to, because Switzerland plays at 5 a.m. So
yeah, it's going to be strange waking up at that time, but definitely worth it as well. So
yes.
It's one of those things, right? Okay, let's do something fun here. We're going to do Claudio's World Cup picks. So I'm going to ask you the 3 Switzerland games. I want some scores, and then I'm going to ask you 3 matchup games. Just kind of put you up against like Messi versus Ronaldo and stuff like that. But let's get to it first. So Switzerland faces Cameroon in their first game. What's the score and who wins?
I hope 2-0 for Switzerland.
2-0 Switzerland. Okay, let's move on. Brazil is the second game for Switzerland. What's the score in that game?
I'm going to say 1-1, just because that was the score last World Cup. And that's, I feel like, the best we can hope for. If we pull out the miracle, it would be awesome to do it against Brazil. But, they always have a strong team, right?
Sure.
I mean, it's Brazil, so 1-1.
Yeah. And, it'd be nice to steal that point as well. So, and finally, probably the game that's going to mean the most as far as getting the 1 or 2 spot for Switzerland.
Yes.
Serbia versus Switzerland. What's the score in that game, my friend?
I think it's going to be 2-1 for Switzerland. That's my pick there.
There's your pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope we don't. Yeah, I hope we. What's going to happen is we're going to go down to 1-0, and then we're going to emerge victorious because I just know my heart can't handle it. So I'm going to prepare myself already for that.
Well, we're hoping that they're part of that next stage. So here's a group of questions that we have listed and we've written about on the site. So here's my first question. So Ronaldo versus Messi, who scores more goals in this World Cup? Goals only.
I go with Messi.
Messi. Right now, actually, he is the favorite. So, yes, he is. Okay. And finally, the 2 teams that are going to meet in the final, and tell me your winner.
Oh, man. I didn't do enough math to see like who could actually meet in the finals. If you know what I mean? Because
yeah, I told you the brackets, right?
Yeah, with the brackets. Who can make it? See, I would love to say Germany, but I don't think Germany is strong enough this year.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think they struggled a little bit. I don't know if France can hold on to their to their form from the last World Cup. I'm just giving you teams who I don't think will be the final. I think it will be another miracle final, maybe, which would be awesome. I'll pick Argentina.
That's who I got. That's who I have as well. But maybe it's one of those things there where I'm hoping Messi has a good Sirenaro kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Have a good World Cup and retire from the sunset.
It would be a really good story.
Yeah.
I think Argentina, and then this World Cup is very open, which is what I like. I mean, England had a good Euro, if that's any sign of anything to come.
It's true.
Until the final, right?
Yeah. So, but England does England, right?
England does England. So another England in the World Cup final would be against Argentina. That would be another heartbreak. So, yeah, let's go with that for now.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, well, you know what? More than anything, we hope the next time we talk to you, you're the new ROH champion. And we hope Switzerland does well. And we also hope Canada does well. So this has been a pleasure talking to you. Best of luck at Full Gear. And we look forward to watching it on pay-per-view. Thanks for this, Claudio.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And if it would be Argentina and Germany in the final, I wouldn't be upset at that either. That would be a redo from what was it? Italy 1990. So that was actually the first World Cup I watched live on television. So
there you go.
I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, and 2 classic teams as well.
Yeah. So it's always the classic teams. They always kind of come through, right?
They're always there, my friend. Take care.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Take it easy.